So the monument that I decided to do my project on was the Menger Bar. It's found inside of the Menger Hotel, and as soon as you walk into the hotel, it just looks pretty and beautiful, but you really get an eerie feeling, and maybe that's because I did some research beforehand, but you can really feel like somebody is watching you, and so I just wanted to record a few things that I saw before actually making it to the bar. So I did quite a bit of walking and exploring, but let me just give you a little bit background before we actually get to the Menger Bar. So this Menger Bar is a pretty historic saloon in San Antonio. This is the place where Theodore Roosevelt was recruiting many of his famous Rough Riders. It became known as his unofficial headquarters in recruitment for the Spanish-American War. He was only second in command, and it was said that he had a flamboyant persona and was a merchant for publicity, which made him the face for the Rough Riders. And just to give you a little bit of perspective, the men only had maybe 3 weeks of training before they had to leave San Antonio for Tampa and then later onward into the island of Cuba. So there wasn't much time, and they really just had to commit when they came in through that bar. Now, I couldn't really find if there was any controversial issues going on at this site. It was more just pretty nonchalant, people coming in and out, going to a bar, and then signing up for the war. So what is the historical context? And that can be found here in this display. It tells you that this is a uniform and some of the equipment used by the Rough Riders. This term was given to those who served in the Spanish-American War. They were the first U.S. volunteer cavalry under the leadership of Teddy Roosevelt, and so it's pretty cool to look at. Now, is it an accurate portrayal of the history? I would say yes, in the sense that it does show you photographs of the Rough Riders and Teddy Roosevelt, but of course this is not where the Spanish-American War happened, so you can't really portray that war in this part of it. This is just where all the recruitment really happened. So as you can see on the walls, there's a bunch of pictures of this guy, and if you don't know who that guy is, it is Theodore Roosevelt, one of the presidents. The Menger Bar actually went up during 1859, but it was renovated back in 1887. The message that this sends about Theodore Roosevelt is that he's very welcoming, very friendly. He also has a little bit of a persuasive and manipulative side to him, just because he's sitting at a bar just judging who comes in and out, trying to convince people to come join the army and help serve. And so usually when you go to a bar, it's always a friendly environment. You meet new people, of course, and so that's kind of the vibe that you get from him. Are there implications and social consequences at this site? I have to say yes, because Teddy Roosevelt would be sitting at that table at the bar, and he would just wait for the men to come in and out. Whoever he thought was suitable, he would buy them free drinks and give his recruitment speech. The next morning, these people would say that they woke up hungover and not even realize that they just signed up for the Rough Riders. Now we get into whether or not there was bias or not, and I say that there isn't any bias because they weren't trying to convince us that Teddy was a good man or a bad man, or who was the enemy and who wasn't. It was more just showing the historical significance of this place. This is where it was the unofficial recruitment.